Alex Connors sat in his small, cluttered apartment in one of Earth's largest space colonies. The low hum of the colony's machines echoed in the background, but Alex barely noticed. His mind was elsewhere, focused on the glowing screen of his computer. He was deep in an online community where the brightest minds from all over the galaxy gathered to share their knowledge, thoughts, and discoveries. Alex was an engineer, though not the kind who worked with physical machines. He worked with artificial intelligence, developing systems that could help humanity explore the stars. It was a dream job, but one that kept him isolated. Most of his interactions were with algorithms or data sets, and the idea of socializing or mingling with people had always seemed tedious. He scrolled through his feed, absent-mindedly clicking on links and reading updates about the latest space missions. His eyes stopped on a post that caught his attention. It wasn't a regular update about some new AI project or spacecraft blueprint. No, this was something different. It was a post from Lyra Keene, a high-ranking officer in the Galactic Alliance. The Alliance was responsible for humanity's growing presence in the galaxy, managing interspecies relations, and overseeing the delicate peace between humanity and the numerous alien species they had encountered. Lyra wasn't just any officer, she was an icon, a leader whose name was spoken with respect across the known worlds. The post was a long one, filled with details about her latest mission. It talked about the discovery of an ancient alien artifact, a relic from a species that was believed to have been wiped out millennia ago. Lyra's words were careful, measured. She explained how her team had uncovered encrypted data within the artifact, but no one had been able to decipher it. Alex's fingers hovered over the keyboard as he read. The encrypted data was the key point. That was something Alex knew very well. He was an expert in cryptography, especially alien encryption patterns. His work often involved studying alien technologies and trying to find ways to integrate them into human systems. As he read further, Alex's mind started racing. He could see the pattern forming in the post. There were subtle clues hidden in the phrasing, in the way Lyra described the artifact. A small thrill ran through him. He had always wanted to solve a puzzle like this, and here was his chance, presented to him on a silver platter. Without thinking much, Alex typed a quick response in the comment section. He didn't know why, but something about the post called to him. Maybe it was the challenge, or maybe it was something deeper. "Looks like you're dealing with an old encryption style, Lyra," Alex typed, his fingers moving quickly across the keys. "The code isn't random. It's based on a structure that's very old, older than the Galactic Alliance itself. If you focus on the repeating patterns, you'll find the key. It's not just a sequence, it's a message in disguise." He read it over quickly before hitting send. Immediately after, Alex felt a twinge of hesitation. Was that too bold? Should he have held back? But it was too late. The comment was out there now. He couldn't take it back. He leaned back in his chair and waited. His heart was racing slightly. In a community of brilliant minds, one comment could mean nothing, or it could mean everything. But Alex had always been the quiet type, content to stay in the background. This felt different. A few minutes passed. Then an unexpected notification popped up on his screen. It was from Lyra Keene herself. Her response was short, but it left Alex stunned. "I've been waiting for you, Alex Connors. Meet me at these coordinates. Don't tell anyone." The message was brief and direct. No explanation, no further details. Just a set of coordinates and a cryptic invitation. Alex blinked. He stared at the screen in disbelief. What was happening? How did she know his name? How did she know it was him who had commented? The mention of his full name was chilling. He had never interacted with Lyra before, not personally, not online. He had only ever read about her in news articles and updates. He felt a cold sweat form on his brow. The invitation wasn't just a response to his comment. It was a call, a summons. And the way she had worded it made it sound like something important. something that went beyond a simple conversation about encryption. Alex stood up from his desk and began pacing. The coordinates Lyra had sent him were located far outside the safe zones of known space. It was a place where only the most daring explorers ventured. The idea of meeting with Lyra in person, an officer of the Galactic Alliance, a woman who was respected across the galaxy, was both thrilling and terrifying. The logical part of his brain told him to ignore the message, to forget about it and move on. It was probably some kind of scam or prank, but deep down, something else stirred. Alex knew this wasn't an ordinary invitation. Lyra hadn't just sent a message because she liked his comment. There was something more to it, something he couldn't quite understand but felt deep in his bones. He paced for a few more minutes before stopping. His mind was made up. There was no turning back now. He needed to know what Lyra wanted with him, and more importantly, why she had contacted him in the first place. His heart raced as he grabbed his jacket and headed for the docking bay. The spaceport was a few levels down, but it felt like a world away. He had never traveled so far, so deep into the unknown, but the coordinates were clear. They led to a space station on the outer rim, a place of little importance in the grand scheme of things, or so it seemed. The journey was long, and as Alex flew through the quiet expanse of space, he couldn't shake the feeling that he was being watched. There was no sign of other ships, no indication that anyone else was following him. Still, the silence of space felt unnerving. It was too quiet, too empty. He arrived at the space station several hours later. It was old, worn, and seemingly abandoned. The station had once been a hub for deep space research, but now its halls were mostly empty. The lights flickered as Alex walked through the dark corridors, his footsteps echoing in the silence. It felt like stepping into a forgotten part of history. Finally, he arrived at the location the coordinates had pointed him to. The door slid open with a soft hiss, revealing a large, dimly lit room. In the center stood a woman, her figure illuminated by the faint glow of an ancient console. Lyra Keene was just as Alex had imagined her, confident, poised, and commanding. She wore a simple yet elegant uniform, her dark hair cascading over her shoulders. Her piercing blue eyes met Alex's as he stepped into the room, and for a moment the air seemed to thrum with anticipation. "Alex Connors," she said, her voice calm and measured. "I knew you would come." Alex's heart skipped a beat. How did you know it was me?" he asked, his voice shaky. Lyra smiled, but it wasn't a comforting smile. It was the smile of someone who had seen far more than most people could ever imagine. "I've been watching you for some time," she said. "You have a unique talent, Alex, a talent that will help us unlock something that could change the future of humanity." Alex blinked, trying to process her words. "Change the future of humanity," he repeated. "What do you mean? What is all this?" Before Lyra could answer, the lights in the room dimmed further. A soft hum filled the air and the screen behind her flickered to life, showing strange symbols and patterns, the same ones Alex had seen in her post. "Everything you've seen so far," Lyra said, her voice now taking on a more serious tone, "has led you here. This is bigger than any encryption you've ever cracked, Alex. What we're about to uncover will change everything." Alex's mind raced. He didn't know what she was talking about, but one thing was clear. His life had just taken a turn into something much bigger than he could have ever imagined. Alex stared at the screen behind Lyra, his heart pounding. The symbols flashing across the display seemed familiar, but they were unlike anything he had ever encountered. The patterns were too complex, too ancient, to have come from any known alien race. He had cracked many codes before, but this felt different. This felt as though it was beyond human comprehension. Lyra moved toward the console, her hands hovering over the controls. She didn't look at Alex as she spoke. "What you see here is only the beginning. We've found pieces of a puzzle, but we need the right minds to put it together, and that's where you come in." Alex opened his mouth to speak, but the words caught in his throat. His mind was racing. How had Lyra known he could help? He was just an engineer, a technician who worked with AI systems. Why would someone as important as Lyra Keene need him? "I'm not sure I understand," he said finally. "What is this? What am I supposed to do?" Lyra turned, her face serious now, her eyes meeting his. "This artifact you've been looking at, it's not just a relic. It's a key to a hidden history of humanity. And it's not just about us. It's about all the civilizations that have come before us and all those that will come after. The encrypted data you uncovered is part of a message, a warning, if you will." Alex felt a chill run down his spine. A warning? From whom? Why hadn't the Galactic Alliance shared this with the rest of humanity? Why hadn't they done more to uncover its secrets? Lyra walked to the far side of the room and pulled up another set of data on the screen. "This artifact is one of many," she explained. "The Zarath, an ancient species who once ruled a vast portion of the galaxy, created it. Their civilization fell long ago, but they left behind messages, coded in ways we are only now beginning to understand." She paused, letting the weight of her words settle in the air. "We thought we were alone in the galaxy, but we were wrong. The Zarath were the first to encounter an even older race, one that had been watching over the galaxy for millions of years. This race, which we know very little about, is known as the Ancients." Alex frowned. "Wait. You're saying the Zarath weren't the most advanced species in the galaxy, but they were the ones who created the artifact, right?" Lyra nodded. "Yes, they created it, but they didn't understand its true purpose. The Ancients did. And that's why the Zarath were ultimately destroyed. They didn't see the warning signs in time. Now, we're here, standing at the edge of the same danger." Alex's mind was spinning. The Ancients, a race so old and so powerful that they could manipulate entire galaxies. He had heard stories of ancient species, but this sounded like something straight out of science fiction. Yet Lyra was standing in front of him, serious and composed, explaining something that felt impossible. "I don't get it," Alex said, his voice shaky. "Why did you bring me here? What do you want from me?" Lyra's eyes softened, but only for a moment. "We need your mind, Alex. We need you to help us crack the final part of the code. The one that the Zarath left behind, the one that will reveal the location of something even more powerful than the artifact itself. Something that the Ancients left behind, hidden from all who would seek it." Alex took a step back, the weight of her words sinking in. He had always been good with puzzles, good with codes, but this felt like something beyond him. "What is this thing you're looking for?" he asked quietly. Lyra didn't hesitate. "The heart of the stars, a weapon, a tool, something that could either save us or destroy us. No one knows for sure, but if the Ancients left it, we need to find it before anyone else does." The silence between them stretched on, heavy and tense. Alex felt as though the walls of the room were closing in on him. He wanted to walk away. He wanted to say it was too much, that he wasn't cut out for something like this. But the words wouldn't come. Deep down, something inside him was drawn to the mystery. He had always lived in the shadows of the big projects, watching from afar as others made the real discoveries. But this was his chance to be part of something greater, something bigger than himself. "All right," Alex said, his voice firm now. "I'll help you, but I need to know more. I need to understand what we're really dealing with." Lyra nodded. "That's the right choice, Alex. But know this, you're not the only one searching for the heart of the stars. There are others, people who will stop at nothing to get it. They will use any means necessary to take it from us." A chill ran down Alex's spine. Who else was after this mysterious heart of the stars? What kind of people would go to such lengths for something so dangerous? "I don't know if I'm ready for that," Alex said, his voice quieter now. "You're ready," Lyra replied. "You've been preparing for this your entire life, even if you didn't know it. We've been watching you, Alex, watching you crack codes and decipher ancient alien technologies. You've proven yourself more than capable." Alex swallowed hard. He didn't know if he believed her, but there was something in her words that made him want to trust her. The way she spoke, the certainty in her voice, it was hard to ignore. She was asking him to take a leap of faith, and part of him was ready to jump. Lyra turned back to the console and began typing furiously, pulling up a series of new encrypted files. "We don't have much time," she said. "The Zareth's encryption is unlike anything we've ever seen before. We need to break it before they get to us." Alex stepped forward, his mind already shifting into gear. He was a problem solver, that's who he was. No challenge was too great, no code too complex. But this felt like something different, something bigger than just a puzzle. As he moved to the console, his fingers hovering over the keyboard, Alex couldn't shake the feeling that he was standing on the edge of something monumental. This wasn't just a mission anymore. It was a race against time, a race against those who would do anything to find the heart of the stars before they did. And as Alex began to type, cracking the code, he realized one thing. He had no idea what the future held, but it was going to be a lot more dangerous than he had ever imagined.